Hi guys. So there are times when people ask me certain questions and then I tell them certain things, and the reason why I say things like that is because of what I see. You know, this our business, I could say, let me just say, probably from around maybe 2020, after the pandemic came, a lot of people got into this business that shouldn't even be in this business in the first instance. And it's a huge problem for many of us that are certified, because we're having to deal with cases where patients, their health has already been damaged before they are reaching out to you. And the worst kind of damage that can be done in situations like this is when the patient's organs are damaged. I'm talking about particularly the patient's kidneys and sometimes liver. There can be damage that has been done. It's just that sometimes the damage is not something that the patient is even aware of. So they could come to you with impaired organ function. And if you are not a vigilant person and you don't ask questions and you don't probe, you will not find out. This has happened time and time to me. And it is because of that I started having the policy where I do not mix my practice with other people's practices. So I was talking to a particular person who approached us on WhatsApp, and I was telling her, I said, if you want to take herbal medicine, stick with one person. Don't take treatment from one herbalist and mix it with another person's practice, because the two people have not sat down together to try and figure out if there will be any negative interactions between their own product and your own, both of their products. So you are the person that is caught in between. You are the person that is going to suffer it if there are going to be any negative interactions, because it's possible to have a herbal formulation that, taken on its own, will not cause any problems. But by the time you introduce another herbal formulation, which on its own will not cause any problems, the two of them together can be dangerous to your health. So you see why I don't mix my practice with other people's practices? Yeah, because apart from the fact that some of them don't know what they are doing, many of them are just in it because of money, there are also those that are also genuine herbalists who know to some extent what they are doing. But if you are hiding the information, you don't want this person to know I bought from it. If you now mix the two, what if there are problems? So that's why I don't mix my practice. Because I was explaining to the woman, I said, it doesn't have anything to do with pride. It's more about being cautious, right? Being careful for my brand and also for your health. I was telling her that a lot of things go into making herbs. One, you have to source for the right herb. Secondly, you have to authenticate the herb. Thirdly, you have to process it in the right way. And then the fourth thing is you have to check, because there are some markers. I'm going technical now. I have no choice but to go technical. There are some markers in some herbs that you should be able to see in a herbal preparation to show that when you process that herb, it still retains its medicinal properties. Because if you do a TLC, for instance, these are things that are posted on this page. You do a TLC. If you search literature for the exact TLC, somebody has done the TLC of that plant, and the person, let's say for instance, a particular herb is supposed to be an anti-cancer herb, right? So somebody went and sourced for it for you. The person processed it into powder for you and then handed it over to you. Let us give an example. Let's say it is sarsop leaves, and the person just handed you sarsop leaf powder. You did not know how they sourced for it. You did not know how they processed it. And then you know what, if you do a TLC, you know what you will see on the TLC plate that indicates where, there are groups of chemical compounds, there are cetogenins, for instance. It shows you the spots that is their cetogenin. So when you do that same TLC, you compare it with the people that were doing research on the anti-cancer effect and they did TLC. You follow their TLC, whatever, and you should be able to replicate it exactly. If you are not seeing that spot, that means that in the process of the person processing that plant for you, the person has destroyed the main medicinal component of that plant. So I told her, I said, that is the reason why, for me, I go through so much trouble sourcing for plants, making sure they're authentic, because sometimes I post some things on the page and some people will be like, hey, I know it, is this, is that. And I say, no, there are different types there could be different species that can look alike, but they are not alike. But they will not have exactly the same medicinal properties. So when you are mixing your practice, where you are so meticulous that way, with the practice of another person that was not as meticulous, you should expect some some problems could arise. So for that reason, I don't mix. And I told, I said, if you want to patronize any herbalist, choose one person. It doesn't necessarily have to be us. So if you have a number of health issues, let that one person handle everything. So the person can be able to give you herbal preparations that will not clash with each other and cause problems. Don't just go and be pricing and picking and choosing. Get from just that person. And then if anything happens, you can hold that person. But by the time you're mixing and matching and doing other things, and even sometimes your home remedies could be clashing with the herbal preparation. So that's why I don't mix my practice with other people. It has nothing to do with pride. It's more about, it's common sense. 1, 2, it's for protecting my brand. 3, it's for protecting your health.